Well, John, I am not used to introductions like that, so thank you. Very gracious. And I'm certainly not used to kicking off art exhibitions. But I am a fan of the great Englishman, Sir Thomas Beecham, who said, a young man should try everything once with the possible exception of incest and folk dancing. And an opening a Kingerlee exhibition does not fall within those two categories, and hence I am here. And what I wanted to do very quickly was to say 3 or 4 things. Firstly, I'm here with my colleague Ciara McLaughlin, who I think everybody's met already, who is our Vice President based out of New York. So Ciara, welcome. I'm also here with some of our board directors, Mike Corboy and John Tillotson are here tonight. I think Don Hanley might be coming. And I'm here with some of our board directors, and I welcome them. And the American Island Fund has 3 aims in life, and it's very quickly peace, culture, and charity. But culture is very important to us because we believe in Ireland there's a very distinctive culture which needs to be both preserved and promoted. So the sort of work you're doing here is absolutely important for us. It's part of what we call the patrimony of Ireland, and you see it on the walls here. John Kingerlee is a remarkable John Kingerlee is a really remarkable individual. And let me tell you just a little bit about John Kingerlee. He was born in the 30s in Birmingham, England. And when he was aged about 2, he went to London. His father, interestingly enough, was running a gentleman's poker club in London. And he was really brought up, John was really brought up by his aunt Anna. And she was particularly interested in circus animals, and John got his love of animal life and love of animals during that period. And Anna was actually going out with a guy called Douglas Fairbanks during that time. So, a little bit of introduction to stardom for John Kingerlee. John Kingerlee's father was a Wedgwood, which is one of the great names of British industry, Wedgwood China, which incidentally is owned by an Irish company called Waterford Crystal. But that's just inside, just inside. So anyway, John Kingerlee got married in 1955. He met his wife in 1955 and he got married in 1958. He moved to Ireland. He had 5 children. He had twins. And he moved to a part of Ireland which is called the Beara Peninsula. The Beara Peninsula is way out in West Cork. If you go much further, you're towards Boston. So if you get the notion, this is a very remote, a very beautiful part of Ireland, all about mountains and the ocean and the flora and the fauna, the sorts of things that you see coming through in his paintings. He's quite a shy, quite an isolated individual who wanted to really be alone with his family and his work. And his work is fascinating because he's surrounded by his work. He did work for a while as a gardener, and I thought it's kind of interesting that in a way John Kingerlee approaches his paintings the way you would approach looking after plants, because these paintings take literally years to produce. Just to give you some notion of the process, because it's hard to know how do these paintings fit in. They're neither sort of figurative, if you like, nor are they kind of abstract. They're a little bit of both. And I actually think they're a kind of, my innocent experience, sort of a new genre of painting. They're kind of nearly geological in their design. They are structured in many ways. There's as many as 50 coats of paint on some of these paintings. And what John does is not just work on a single piece of art, a single piece of work at one time. He actually works on a whole series of paintings. At any one time in his studio there will be as many as 100 paintings. And he may be working in one day on 5 or 6 different paintings, because what he's doing is he's adding to them all the time. In fact, some of these paintings, which are from the year 2004, may have been started in the early 90s. That long he's worked on these paintings. As I said, up to 50 coats of paint on a painting. He gave up using traditional acrylic paints in the 90s, and he produced his own paint. He uses sand in some of these. Many of his paintings reflect the area that he's from. As I said, the ocean and nature and all that kind of stuff. And some of them reflect more modern, contemporary issues like graffiti and the stuff, street architecture and street furniture that you see. So a fascinating mix of styles here with John Kingerlee. I recommend you to take a serious look at this guy because it's a unique genre. He is extraordinary talent. He's now 70 years of age. For the last 10 years he's really been prolific in his output. And he's still relatively unknown, and I think beginning to get well known. Ireland's famous, obviously, for its music. It's famous for its writers, but less so for its visual artists. And I think what you're doing, Alan, and what Larry Powell is doing in promoting some of these artists from Ireland is really terrific, because there are really some hidden gems. And it is really important when you look at these paintings, you don't just look at them as you would with normal paintings, sort of up and down and left and right, but you actually look across and in and just see some notion of, if you like, the really like geological structure of these paintings. And you get a sense then that these are works of art which have been produced over a very, very long period of time. So I commend you, Alan, for what you're doing. I thank all of you in Dallas for coming out and celebrating what is a great Irish, and many ways Irish and British painter, and I wish you great success.
Thank you very much.